very glad that all of you guys can make it here today. I think despite the order that's on your papers, we're going to be going in slightly different order. I think we're having Solo go first. So Kylie Wheeler will be our solo performer. She'll be explaining a little bit about it and then give you a little bit of a performance. So yeah, Kylie.
Good morning, everybody. Alright, well, first off, this is the complete opposite of what tournament attire should be like. You want to dress your best, maybe fix your hair a little bit. But for solo acting, solo scripts should come from plays. It's a monologue. There should only be one actor in a solo piece. There are no scripts. You can only use one chair.
Might you just slow down a little so they can write?
I apologize.
Is that true? She's telling you all of the answers. Maybe you should start over now.
All right.
The ones that didn't realize that you were telling them
Sorry
all
about
of the
that.
right answers.
Literature.
Be really loud.
It comes from plays, all solo pieces. Only one actor. No scripts. Just one chair. And the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. Everybody ready? You come here to stare at me, to gape and point, and then to go home with the smug comfort that you'll never end up like me. As long as this glass is between us. You know, you wouldn't be saying these things if we were sitting in a room together. Just the two of us. A rather frightening idea. Yeah, you might be scared if I ever came as close as to touch you. But you see, that's the only thing I ever wanted. Was for her to just take my hand and hold it, but did I get it? No. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, Jen must explain the story of her childhood and the relationship she had with her so-called mother. My Mother's Touch by Lauren Deedy. I was told often that my mother cried for days after I was born. You see, the doctors, they couldn't get me out the natural way. So they had to take their pretty knives and slash my mother down the middle. And for years, she would tell me that if she had known they were going to cut her open, she never would have had a child in the first place. You know, I still remember when I was 5, and I reached up to her for a hug. And she screams at me to keep my hands to myself and pushed me away. After that, my mother never touched me again. Sometimes I would annoy her just so that she would take the back of her hand and slap me. I still remember the feel of her cold skin against my cheek. But most of the time, my mother kept her hands to herself. This continued for years. Then one day, there was a fire. It started in the kitchen when she was cooking, and soon the entire room rose in smoke. And she rushed out of the house, and it never occurred to her that I might be still up there, sleeping as the flames crept under the door and sucked at my skin. A firefighter had to pull me out. Too late. All I ever wanted was a warm body that would just hold me. But to my mother, I was even more hideous now. She wouldn't even come near me. She sat on the other side of the hospital room, as if my touch would poison her. And when we got home, she hired a woman to change my bandages for her just so she wouldn't have to touch me. I had been a fool to think that she would care. She would love me. After so many years, I finally became that hideous creature my mother saw. But my mother sure wasn't hideous. She used to come home and lie down on the couch in her best pearls. She lay so still. You could have sworn she wasn't breathing at all. It was the one time I could touch her. That was the one time I ever felt loved. But one day as I sat beside her, she woke up and she screamed. My own mother screamed at me because I wanted to be near her. And all I could think of was just stopping her. Was just stopping her screaming. Her horrible screaming, because then maybe she would realize I wasn't so hideous. Maybe then she would hold me. So I held her throat. I pinned her to the couch. So she stopped. Because then I could hold her for as long as I wanted. Eventually they took her away. And when they buried her, you could still see the handprints imprinted on her neck. And then they took me away to here. And twice a day, a woman comes in with her needle and feeds the sweetest medicine into my arm. And then she holds me. I feel warm. So stare all you want, because I've finally gotten what I've always wanted. To be held. To be loved. And afterwards, the signal that you're done, just put your down and say thank you for judging and thank you for telling.
Okay, couple things I hope you noticed about Solo. Were there more than one character? Was there more than one? No, there was one character speaking. That's very, very important. Will you tell us where you got your piece and how you found it? Kind of that process of finding your piece.
A monologue from a play, or, I mean, you can get it from a book, but plays would definitely be more just with literary merit.
And did you read the whole play?
The whole play, I personally did not, but that would be a really good idea.
You should. You should. Because you want to understand your character completely. And did you notice that she picked a piece that her emotions could rise and fall, and it wasn't just like, oh. Did her piece go somewhere and say something? Yes, it went somewhere, told a story, didn't it? So that's really important too when you're finding solo pieces. You don't want to find something off the internet that you don't understand the whole piece, okay? You want to find something that you can read and get a big picture of that character. Any questions about solo?